So we're all familiar with marijuana and how very illegal it is. One thing you may not have known is the average number of deaths per year from cigarettes is 430,000, alcohol more than 85,000, caffeine is about 10,000, and painkillers kill about 7,500 people per year. And the amount of deaths from marijuana, 0. This is according to a documentary that you can watch for free on Vimeo called The Union, the Business Behind Getting High. According to the organization NORML, which is the acronym for National Organization for Reform of Marijuana Laws, their website claims that marijuana is the third most popular recreational drug in the United States, preceded by alcohol and tobacco. And nearly 100 million Americans use it. So regardless of your or my opinion on marijuana, it is here to stay. It's all around us, and the U.S. is wasting a lot of money and resources trying to stop it. So people in the United States should support the adoption of a legally controlled market for marijuana, allowing consumers to buy it for personal use from a safe and legal source. In the United States, all levels of government, federal, state, local, are participating in the war on drugs. We're currently spending billions of dollars every year trying to catch peaceful people who happen to like to get high. These people are locked in prisons, and taxpayers have to foot the bill. So if cannabis were legal, the government would be able to collect taxes on it and would have a lot more money to pay out for effective drug programs and other important causes. So I've chosen to speak on this important issue because I feel that there is a great deal of misinformation about marijuana and what is happening with it under the law. I mean, I remember as a youngster being told by a DARE officer that marijuana causes lung cancer, which is just not true. I've also noticed that drug deals are happening in commonplace areas where they're accessible to minors rather than in a safe and controlled environment, which is also very scary. So there are several arguments of why marijuana should be legalized. It's currently being distributed irresponsibly and dangerously through an illegal system. There's also a great deal about it, misinformation about it, and about the benefits that could come from legalizing it. And we have also seen some very intriguing outcomes from states that have recently legalized recreational use, like Colorado and Washington, such as lowered criminal records and increased tax revenue. So prohibition does not work. Instead, removing penalties for the private possession and responsible use of marijuana by adults, as well as increasing education, are much better ways to address the marijuana black market. Enforcing such severe laws against marijuana use is only creating more unnecessary problems for the United States. We're wasting law enforcement money and time trying to stop something that is not going to disappear anytime soon, or ever for that matter. In a recent report, Harvard University economist Dr. Jeffrey Miron estimated that legalizing marijuana nationwide with a common sense regulation system could save us between $10 to $14 billion per year by reducing government spending and creating new revenues. Another study by the Rand's Drug Policy Research Center showed that legalizing pot would make pot incredibly cheap to make. I mean, we're talking pennies per joint. And it would also increase demand substantially. So weed prohibition is also creating some very serious problems involving gangs and violence in the drug trade. So the government is basically implementing laws that they can't enforce. So in result, it's creating a thriving black market for criminals in the drug cartel. In 2010, CNS News reported over 10,000 deaths that were related to the drug cartel, and also claim that they are making over 60% of profit in the United States. So police are wasting their time trying to catch low-key stoners when they could be preventing much more serious crime. Now going to the next point, I mean, the government certainly has a right to limit individual actions if those actions are causing harm or posing a threat to that individual. But this argument is simply not valid. It's simply not logically applied to marijuana because it is far less dangerous than some legal drugs like alcohol and tobacco. So a quote from the British medical journal The Lancet claims that the smoking of cannabis, even long-term, is not harmful to health. So there is no scientific proof that casual use is dangerous to health. Many people die from alcohol poisoning every year, but the author of What is the End of Prohibition May Look Like, Justin Butler, said that marijuana, on the other hand, is non-toxic and cannot cause death by overdose. I mean, you would probably fall asleep before this ever could happen. Butler also quotes DEA Judge Francis Young saying, marijuana is the safest therapeutically active substances known to man. So even the DEA's own judge understands this. So now let's focus on medical marijuana. According to the NORML website, it is helping AIDS and cancer patients. Gaining appetite helps them cope with their pain. It's also helping people with anxiety, glaucoma, epilepsy, multiple sclerosis, ADHD. I mean, the list just goes on. And more states are recently passing laws allowing people to purchase medical marijuana, which is a really great thing. However, it is being abused. A Colorado friend of mine told me that when he went to get his card, the doctor really didn't care what his reason was, and he just told him to, make up an illness and get him in and out, quick procedure. So this is allowing people to legally purchase it and then illegally sell it. So marijuana legalization offers an important advantage over decriminalization in that it allows for legal distribution and taxation. So I'm sure you all are familiar with the Prohibition era. I mean, we've learned about it over and over in history classes. In 1919, the distribution and consumption of alcohol was banned. So naturally, gangsters took advantage of this and sold alcohol legally all over the nation, made lots of profit from it. It was still heavily available, and after a huge waste of time and money, the government finally realized this was a huge mistake, legalized it again, and ultimately they saw an increase in sales profit and also a dramatic drop in crime. So have we learned nothing from this, and we're just repeating history in a way? Legalizing would take a huge blow to drug cartel operations. Crime would go down and government would make a large profit from it. What doesn't sound great about this? Both Washington and Colorado are the first states to legalize weed in the United States, and we've seen several positive effects. In Rook's 2014, while 6 months in, how has marijuana legalization treated Colorado? The FBI's uniform crime reporting data held that overall crime rate has gone down by 10.1% from 2013, and violent crime has decreased by 5.2%. So we need to recognize that this is still being sold, in the streets and other places in the United States where it's not legalized. Rook also quoted Mike Elliott, the executive director of the Marijuana Industry Group, saying that just like alcohol prohibition, people need to decide whether they want someone like Al Capone to sell them their weed, or if they would prefer the drug cartel or the drugs sold by licensed tax-paying owners of small businesses. Rook also claimed that the first half of 2014, Colorado's marijuana industry was responsible for generating around $20 million in state taxes and fees, and a lot of that has gone to, constructing schools and creating more youth and public education campaigns about marijuana. So marketing marijuana, making it legal on a federal level would reduce the criminal rate, save taxpayers a great deal of money, make communities safer, and would also keep marijuana out of the hands of minors. If you would like to voice your opinion on this issue, you can do so at normal.com. There are plenty of ways you can help fight for this cause. So in conclusion, I think there needs to be a serious reexamination of the laws prohibiting marijuana, and also action needs to start being taken. So whether you're a fan of it or not, it's here to stay, and we're wasting many resources trying to stop something that we can't, something that in my eyes is a gift. The longer we wait, the more it'll get out of hand. So we need to step out of the sidelines and start moving into a more positive direction. Thank you.